Good morning, teachers and students. My name is Natalie, and I'd like to welcome you all to the Why Healthy Air Matters program. We are here today to celebrate the earth and educate ourselves on how we can all take action to keep our air clean. California Clean Air Day is an important environmental day where we can all pledge to help protect the air we breathe in our communities. The South Coast Air Quality Management District, or South Coast AQMD for short, is the air pollution control agency for the South Coast Air Basin, which includes large areas of Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties, including the Coachella Valley. South Coast AQMD's mission is to clean the air and protect the health of all residents in our region. Today, we are here to talk about how South Coast AQMD does their part in cleaning their air the year round and how we can learn ways to do our part to protect the air as well. Do you all know the history of California Clean Air Day? California Clean Air Day is built on the idea that shared experiences unite people to action to improve our community health. Clean Air Day was started to encourage Californians to take action against air pollution. From cleanairday.org, whether you're an individual, business, government agency, or nonprofit organization, there are things we can all do to improve air quality and protect public health. In a state with some of the worst air pollution in the United States, it is imperative that we do. Now, today we have a special guest, Gloria Annaberry, who is a senior air quality engineer from South Coast AQMD. Her presentation will teach you all about air pollution sources and share insight on her role at the Air Pollution Agency. Now, before I hand it over to Gloria, I'm going to cover some housekeeping. Please be aware that the presentation is being recorded and live streamed. By participating today, you authorize recording of audio and visual content presented during the event and consent to subsequent use of the recording by South Coast AQMD. Now, let's all give a warm welcome to Gloria.
Hi, my name is Gloria, as Natalie said. I'm a senior air quality engineer. And so the question is, what does an air quality engineer do? So we implement permitting program requirements established by federal, state, and local air quality regulations by evaluating applications for permits to construct and operate equipment, as well as determining regulatory applicability and interacting with applicants to explain air quality policies and rules. So I always like to say that engineers don't make the rules or requirements, but we work with facilities to implement the rules and requirements and make sure that they are complying and minimizing their impact to our air quality. Next slide, please. So where does South Coast AQMD come in? So I think it's really important to understand what our mission is. So the mission, South Coast AQMD's mission is to clean the air and protect the health of all residents in South Coast Air District through practical and innovative strategies. So that's a lot. That's kind of, is like, what does that mean? And so we have a team at our district that does various things, from regulating stationary sources by issuing permits, as well as ensuring that facilities comply with the permits and comply with the rules and regulations. And that's where the compliance and enforcement teams comes out. They go to businesses and they make sure that the businesses are operating according to the rules and regulations. Permitting team, which is a team I'm a part of, we provide permits to businesses to ensure that they are operating any equipment that may impact the air quality in accordance with all the rules and regulations. We have public engagement where we receive and investigate complaints. So we have our 1-800-CUT-SMOG. I will be saying that throughout this presentation because it is important, and that's how we get the public involved. If you smell anything that is out of the ordinary, you can use that number 1-800-CUT-SMOG to provide a complaint, and we will have our inspectors who work within compliance and enforcement go out and try and investigate it to see where the source is. We also provide assistance to small businesses, as well as educational opportunities where we spread awareness on air quality issues, including health impacts, and what we can do to improve the air quality. So this program is part of that. So that is part of our initiative in engaging the public and really bringing them into cleaning the air. And then we also have science and public health, where we have air quality monitors so that we can monitor what the air is. The air, you can't see the air. So we really lean on monitors to tell us what's in the air. And we use those monitors and analyze those results to make sure that we are complying with, again, rules and regulations. And then last but not least, we have research, development, and demonstration. Technology is always changing, always advancing. And so it's part of our role to make sure that we are in tune with what's going on, as well as we are using the most advanced technology so that we can effectively and efficiently protect the air and meet our mission. So in this next video, this video coming up, you're going to get to meet some of the people I work with and work alongside with to achieve the agency's mission to clean the air and protect the health of all residents. So enjoy.
The South Coast Air Quality Management District is one of the largest and most scientifically advanced environmental regulatory agencies in the nation. We serve a 4-county region that includes Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties, home to more than 17 million people. Our headquarters is located in Diamond Bar, California, 30 miles east of downtown Los Angeles. With a highly diverse clean air team of over 750 employees, our mission is to ensure clean air and a healthy environment.
Our team of engineers, scientists, chemists, attorneys, programmers, people in our administrative and facility staff work day in and day out to improve the public health of all our residents.
I supervise a team of engineers that evaluate equipment that require permits, such as boilers, engines, generators, dry cleaners, and gas stations. I love working here because we get to help people. We protect the public health and the environment, and we get to work with incredible people in the process of doing so.
The Technology Advancement Office sponsors a lot of different research on light and heavy-duty vehicles and its infrastructure. As that technology is commercialized, we provide incentive funds to local fleets.
We have experts in all types of fields, and I get to interact with all types of different people every day, and the people here are just really amazing. They're really focused on what they do, and every day I learn something new.
I was a student worker here at the AQMD for 3 years, and I was hired on as a lab technician, and now I perform extractions on samples to ensure that the criteria for the air pollutants are met.
You can make a difference in the quality of life for Southern California residents. To learn more, visit our website.
Hopefully that video was informative, but one thing I like to highlight from the video is that that South Coast AQMD is a regional clean air agency, and we cover 4 county regions in Southern California, which include Los Angeles, Orange County, San Bernardino, and Riverside County. And I like to highlight that because that is a huge area. So the South Coast Basin houses nearly 17 million residents, which is about half the population of the state of California, over 12 million vehicles, including hundreds of thousands of diesel vehicles. And we also are home to the twin ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, where more than 30% of the nation's containerized goods enter. So that's a lot going on within our basin. So it's no surprise that our region suffers from some of the worst air pollution in the nation. So on Clean Air Day, we recognize the importance of healthy air quality and take action to clean the air we all breathe. Another thing to note also is that part of the air pollution issues that we deal with, South Coast Air Basin is an extreme non-attainment for both 24-hour particulate matter 2.5 as well as 8-hour ozone standards. And so what does extreme non-attainment mean? That's a federal public health standard. We're exceeding federal public health standards, which is set by the federal agency, so the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. So it's important to know that the challenges that we face within the basin and understanding the size and complexity of it, we have different counties which have a different makeup, so they're very diverse. Anyone from Los Angeles knows it's very densely populated, whereas San Bernardino and Riverside is not as, but has its own air quality issues as well. And so that's why it takes a team, nearly 900 employees within the South Coast AQMD, which include scientists, planners, engineers, inspectors, attorneys, and a lot more, to work to improve the air quality within the basin. And so I say that to say that it really does take a village to do the work that we do. And we all have to work collectively to work to achieve our mission in cleaning the air and protecting the public. Next slide, please. So why is air quality important? Air pollution can impact plants, animals, and most importantly, us. Children, seniors, and people with compromised health are the most sensitive to air pollution. And when we talk about air pollution, we're talking about ground level ozone, fine particulate matter, as well as toxic air pollutants. And so air pollution affects health and quality of life, from respiratory diseases such as asthma, cardiovascular disease, which include heart attacks and stroke, cancer and other diseases, as well as premature death. And so I always like to think of improving the air quality really improves people's quality of life. I know whenever I'm sick, I never enjoy it. And so by helping to improve people's health, we're also improving their life as well. Next slide, please. So what are the sources of air pollution? So we have stationary, mobile, and area. So stationary source is a source of pollution that does not move, and it contributes to approximately 10% of air pollution in the region. So South Coast AQMD is responsible primarily for controlling emissions from stationary sources. And stationary sources include large power plants, refineries, and gas stations. Whereas mobile sources are sources of pollution that is a source of pollution that moves. So that contributes to approximately 80% of air pollution in the region. So there is actually a state agency, so that would be the California Air Resource Board, that primarily regulates mobile sources. And so we can always do our part to work to help prevent air pollution from mobile sources by making sure that we're making smarter choices, such as biking, carpooling, or walking. So there are many ways that we can do that. And even within those mobile sources, it's not just cars. We also have trucks, trains, ships, and planes as well. So they all contribute to make up that 80% that we see from air pollution from mobile sources. And then area source. An area source is a source of pollution that doesn't necessarily emit very much on its own, but it can have a significant cumulative impact, and it contributes to approximately 10% of air pollution. So area sources include small combustion equipment like boilers, heaters, even some consumer products, such as paint. And then we also can think of grills and wood burning fireplaces as area sources. So again, even with those, the area source, we can make better choices, such as instead of having a wood burning fireplace, a gas fireplace, and instead of having a charcoal grill, we can use propane or natural gas for that as well. So we can always make better choices, especially when we're thinking about what things we can do on Clean Air Day. These are kind of the things that we really want to think about. Next slide, please. So that kind of segues nicely into the 10 things we can do or that you can do to help clean the air. So as I said before, making smarter decisions when it comes to transportation, such as walking, biking, or carpooling, or even taking public transportation. It was more than a couple years ago, I took the train for the first time, which was actually really fun. I went with friends and we were able to go into LA and take the metro and really just enjoy the day without having to deal with traffic. So again, it's always a good tool to use. We can also reduce, reuse, and recycle. Kind of one of my favorite sayings. And one of the ways we can do it is by saving water. So taking shorter showers or even turning off the water while we're brushing our teeth. It's very simple tasks that we can do in order to reduce, reuse, and recycle. I would say this is kind of my favorite, and this is just staying informed and getting involved. As you familiarize yourself with air quality and understand the different sources, you can become a source of information so that you can teach others about air pollution and what we can do to reduce it. So being here is literally taking the first step. You are more informed than before you attended this. And so there's different ways you can stay involved. So for news, air quality alerts, and events and updates, you can visit our website at aqmd.gov or download the South Coast AQMD smartphone app. So if you have a smartphone, go ahead and go to your, Google Play or wherever you get your apps and download the South Coast AQMD app. Another way is to report smoking vehicles and suspected air pollution violations by calling 1-800-CUT-SMOG. So as I said earlier, I said 1-800-CUT-SMOG would come up again. And so if you see or smell something that doesn't seem right, you can always call 1-800-CUT-SMOG, and an inspector would come out and try and see if they can determine where the source is. And if it is a business, they can follow up with the business and try to ensure that they are in compliance and reducing whatever odor that is coming from the facility. Another way is planting a tree. So getting out in nature. Plants can help improve air quality in your neighborhood and provide shade during the hot summer months. So we're in October. I recall August and September being very hot months. So hopefully you were able to enjoy the trees. And if not, if you can, plant some more so that next year we can enjoy it all together. Next slide, please. And then you can also save energy. So that helps reduce air quality. So by turning off the lights when you leave a room, replacing incandescent lights with fluorescent light bulbs, and also unplugging appliances when not in use. You can also eat and shop locally. So and also choosing products that use recycled materials when possible. And this is dear to my heart, consider a career in science, environmental, or public policy field. You can make a difference. So I hope that you are encouraged to do so. And then you can choose environmentally friendly products that are not made with smog forming chemicals like low or zero VOC paints and cleaning supplies, and also avoid aerosol sprays. And last but not least, avoid wood fire burning, especially during the winter months. So again, we're in October, which is fall. We'll be in winter months soon. So really trying to make better choices in how you stay warm by avoiding wood fire burning, and because burning wood produces emissions that can be harmful to your health. So again, these are just a few things you can do. So next slide, please. The question I have for you is, which action can you take today for Clean Air Day? And what can you maintain as well as we continue past today? So we have a few selections. So we have planting a tree, riding your bike, reducing your electricity use, and recycling. You can choose more than one. There is no wrong answer, but I am curious to see what people choose. So let's see if we can see the results. Oh, okay. So reduce your electricity use was the winner, apparently. Everyone thought that that was a good way to make an impact today, which is great. And then also recycling came in second. So I'm hopeful that you will continue that, not just today, but tomorrow and the day after. Next slide, please. And thank you. Thank you for attending, and thank you for listening to what I had to share with you.
Thank you so much, Gloria. That was a very insightful presentation, and I hope everyone enjoyed it as much as I did. Now we have a few minutes remaining. We can ask Gloria a few questions. So teachers, if you could please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. You can ask Gloria any questions about air quality or about South Coast AQMD there, and I will relay them to her. I would like to start off with one, and Gloria, I would love to know how you started working for South Coast AQMD and what your educational background is like. If you could answer that, please.
So I will say it was kind of I don't want to say a long process, but let me just go back. So I'm originally from LA, because I forgot to say this in the beginning. I'm originally from LA. I was born and raised. I'm from Gardena, to be exact. And I grew up here. I went to college at University of California, Irvine, which is in Orange County. My background is I got my bachelor's in chemical engineering. I took some time off after graduating, worked, and then went back to school for my master's, and I got my master's in environmental engineering. So I would say I didn't really know about South Coast AQMD until after I graduated with my bachelor's, and I started working for a manufacturing company. And during that time, I was on an environmental team where we kind of discussed different things we could be doing at the organization or within the organization to help comply with different rules and regulations. And so during that time frame, I really started to learn how different businesses comply with different regulations, from water quality to air quality to waste and hazardous waste. And that's where I got to learn more about South Coast AQMD. So when I went back to school for environmental engineering, I really had a clear vision of what I wanted to do, which was work within the government regulatory agency. And so one of the places I applied was South Coast AQMD as a air quality engineer. And I was fortunate enough to get an offer to work, and I came on board about a little bit more than 6 years ago. And so now I work as a senior air quality engineer. Did I answer your question?
You did.
Okay.
You answered it wonderfully. Okay, next question. So what is your favorite part of your job?
I would say for me, it's learning about different types of equipment. So I am a nerd and I really like learning. I don't know why that is what it is, but I enjoy it. And so one of the things I get to do is really learn about different businesses, different industries, and different types of equipment. I always think it's interesting to kind of learn about the different ways businesses use similar equipment. And there's just things I never really thought up too much of. I remember I got to work on a project for a dairy farm, and there are not a lot of dairy farms in LA. So it is not something that I'm familiar with, but getting to kind of learn more about that from the business and the facility, and really work with different groups of people to kind of learn about how emissions come from that was really interesting. So that's just one example of the many sort of projects that I work on, and just kind of learning about it, because I would say that some of these things is not something that we see every day. And so to me, it's exciting to learn about a new industry or process. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. We have another question about, does South Coast AQMD offer any internship opportunities or opportunities for high school students to get involved with the agency itself?
Yeah, I do believe there's a summer program. There's a governing board internship, I think, and then during the summer, I am not familiar with it because I didn't participate in it. However, I have seen, like, usually when we were back all in the office, I would see the interns and they'd be walking around and whatnot. So there are opportunities. We have a career page on our website. And so I would say that that's a good tool to use to kind of keep up to date with what opportunities, whether it's internships or even jobs that are at the district.
Okay, awesome. That's good to know. And then what do you recommend students do if they want to one day work in a STEM field, like working for AQMD, or what would you encourage them to pursue?
So a part of me, well, I guess it kind of, for me, it started with high school. It started with just math and science. That was always my favorite subject while I was in school. So just getting interested in that and progressing. So whether you go to college and you major in something that is within STEM, just being open to learning. You don't have to be the best at it. I will say that I loved math, but math did not love me back. So you don't have to be the best, but you have to enjoy it and you have to like it, because there are going to be times where it's going to frustrate you, but there's going to be a lot of time, so much, what's the word? There's so many benefits associated with it. So I think that just being able to keep pushing through and working towards your goals and staying interested and open to learning is really going to be helpful in pursuing any sort of career within STEM.
Great. I think we're going to close it out with one last question. And it is, since today is California Clean Air Day, what is one thing that you are going to do today to help clean the air as an individual?
I can't say that I would carpool because I drove to work. I had to go into the office, so that can't be on my box. I am a air quality engineer, so I will be working today to do my job and support the mission of South Coast AQMD. But as an individual, I typically, and I have my water bottle, I typically use reusable products, whether it's a reusable bottle or a reusable bag, just so that I can reduce my waste. So I guess that's my big thing for today.
That's great. And I hope that encourages everyone to use reusable bottles and do something today, since it's California Clean Air Day. Thank you all again for joining us. I hope you enjoyed learning more about the South Coast Air Quality Management District. Teachers, after this webinar ends, a survey will pop up on your browser, so please don't forget to fill that out. It really helps us. And we hope to see you all again next time. Thank you.